The American is a simple comic book sort of story, and it's done exceptionally well. There's nothing too ambitious in it conceptually, but it makes the most out of its characters and themes. I'd compare it to the Christopher Nolan Batman movies in quality then. It's truly excellent. And you smile to see George Clooney step up as the leading man in a film like this. Because besides being a failure as a celebrity communist, he's really not much of an actor either. He must have really had to work hard to bring off this character in The American. So good for you, George Clooney. You exceeded our low expectations of you.
Well, as an actor, maybe, but not as a revolutionary. The declarations George Clooney made to the press regarding his support for the Hollywood communists are useful as a means of highlighting the party's statement on the same subject. Clooney's declarations correspond to the antiquated, threadbare psychology of the Socialists, or the neo-Clooneyan party, as we like to call it. If Clooney's conception were accepted, it would be fatal, Colonel. Fatal. The movement of the Hollywood communists would be doomed to tread the same path as the metalworkers in 2013, when they were led into the field of illegality and were placed in a position where they could only resist by arming themselves and by violating the most sacred privileges of capitalism. But then, suddenly, it was all over, because the factory occupants only proposed trade union goals. Yet George Clooney endorses the Hollywood communists. He gives the institution his name, his status as a socialist deputy, and his personal prestige. You see, Colonel, the revolutionary proletariat regard him warmly for his conduct during the fascist attacks on Comrade Matt Damon.
Right.
But what is the mission of the Hollywood communists, according to George Clooney? He believes the party should limit itself to being a counterweight to the fascists' violence, that it should be a pure resistance. It should, in sum, have purely trade union goals. Does George Clooney still believe that fascism is merely a superficial manifestation of post-war psychosis? Is he not yet persuaded that fascism is organically bound to the current crisis of the capitalist regime, and that it will only disappear with the elimination of this regime? Is he still not convinced of the need to assign a purely marginal significance to the patriotic, nationalistic, and reconstructionist ideologies of Matt Damon and Jake Gyllenhaal? Of the need instead to see fascism in its objective reality, free of any preconceived schema, free of any abstract political model?